Okay, up first for the speech, we have Stephen's groomsmen, Donald.
Donald!
Okay, do you want to lean for a second? Yeah, I love that. Okay, cool. Okay. Just gotta get these. You have to be yourself. Be yourself. I know, I'm freaking out, I'm shaking. Holy.
Be yourself. Be yourself.
All right, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Kang. Okay, all right, let's get this started. I'm nervous. Good evening, everyone. For those who do not already know me, I'm Donald. I am Stephen's current roommate. And you may have heard me before because I almost burned Stephen's ear off at Main Island. I'm sure you've all seen the photos. Luckily, he's still friends with me. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be up here right now. I've actually known Stephen since grade 10, all the way in high school. But before that, I didn't really know Stephen that well. But my initial impression of him he was kind of a jock. He was, and still is, freakishly athletic. So of course, he did almost every sport imaginable and seemed to excel in almost all of them. I remember watching him do the beep test, if you guys remember that, and asking myself, how is this guy still running? This makes no sense. On the opposite end, there was me. I was quite nerdy and introverted back in high school. I kept to myself and didn't really have interests outside of playing video games. So I was surprised that Stephen and I even became friends. But as I got to know him better, I learned that Stephen was also kind of a nerd. I'm sure most of you already know this, but Stephen loves Star Wars. It's to the point where Star Wars-related paraphernalia is sprinkled all around his home. He has a Stormtrooper toaster, and there used to be posters everywhere in the living room that Ryza has finally taken down. He's not ashamed of it though, and still dreams of having his own lightsaber, so if anyone is looking for a last-minute gift, keep that in mind. Needless to say, Stephen has always been true to himself, and he taught me that I do not have to prescribe to a single label. Just because I perceive myself a certain way, that shouldn't necessarily limit my interests, and throughout the years, Stephen has encouraged me to try new things that I would have never attempted on my own. I have a list of some highlights here, and keep in mind, prior to meeting Stephen, I hardly went outside. Since then, we've done a 3-hour mud-themed obstacle course where I was physically pushed to my limits. Stephen trained me weeks before the event, and I remember almost vomiting at William Watson from doing his workouts. Sprinting and burpees is a horrible combination. Then years later, Stephen took me whitewater rafting. Out of the group, I'm the only one who can't swim. So, of course, I fell into the river and almost drowned. On top of that, I've had multiple miserable experiences doing supposedly easy hikes with Stephen that were, they, without fail, always became intermediate to advanced hikes. Actually, at table 9, there's a guy named Garrett. If you want to break the ice with him, ask him about water sprite. But it might sound like I'm complaining, and that Stephen actually just tortures me. But I will always be thankful to him for helping me get out of my shell and shaping me into the person I am today. By dragging me along, he opened up new doors for me, and I learned that I'm more capable of things than I thought. And now the shoe's on the other foot, and I tricked him into playing volleyball with me, which he hates because we always lose in semifinals. Evidently, Stephen has always been the type to involve others in things he loves. So I couldn't really picture who'd be able to keep up with him, because as his friend, I was barely able to. Then along came Ryza, and I don't think anyone could have asked for a better match. Both Ryza and Stephen self-proclaim themselves to be clingy, and I think that's the perfect word to describe them. They do everything together, and I live with them, so I would know. If they're not already out camping, hiking, golfing, or organizing a get-together or a trip with their friends and family, you'll probably find Ryza and Stephen sitting on the couch together, watching an episode of some crime procedural show that Ryza is currently binging. And when dinner time comes around, Ryza will always have a warm, home-cooked meal for Stephen, ready to go. And of course, these meals will contain no vegetables. Hold on. And a lot of salt, as per his preference. But I have seen Ryza sneak in carrots and celery into his pasta sauce, so she's trying. She really is. And luckily, she taught him how to expand his palate a little. Prior to dating Riza, Steven was the only Japanese kid I knew that didn't eat sushi. There's rarely a moment where I don't see them together, and I personally think that's enviable because you know that they'll always be there for each other. So whenever Steven wants to do another easy hike that somehow inevitably goes wrong, Riza will be there with him. And that's why I know this marriage will be one that runs the gambit, because they will face and overcome any challenge together. And on days where they need the support of others, they'll have their abundance of family and friends by their side, all of whom are in attendance on this special day. And of course, they'll have their amazing role models. Evelyn, Mike, Roel, Riza, you each raised wonderful children, and I know you'll continue to guide them in their marriage. Lastly, I want to say, Riza and Steven, you two bring the best out of your friends. There are countless things that you've done for us, and I can attest for everyone when I say that we appreciate you two so much. And I'm grateful to be a part of your lives and wish you nothing but happiness. And I'd like to say cheers to the bride and groom.
You did good. No, you don't. You did good. Donald. What's up? Oh, great. Ooh. Let's keep it going.